Everything is intentional. I think whether that's the passes we make, the plays we run, like we ran a play 15 times today, just back to back to back to back to back. And I think that just little things like that, I think we're just all starting to get it. We're all starting to get how good we are. And I think how easy and simple we can make the game for ourselves.
With such a young team like the San Antonio Spurs, it makes perfect sense for a coach to rely on a small number of offensive sets. Typically, you'd be lucky if an NBA team ran the same set 5 times the whole game. But Harper's observation that they spanned the specific play 15 times was notable. Even more impressive, they used that simplicity to torch a top-ranked Rockets defense for their highest offensive rating of the season. It all started in the third quarter and spurred the run that broke the game open. It was nice to see our old friend Horns again. This was a look the beautiful game Spurs made popular over a decade ago, and it's alive and well here with the 2 corners and 2 elbows filled while the point guard initiates from the top. They take Devin Vassell from the left elbow to set a ghost ball screen. Notice how this lures 2 defenders to the ball. Wemby is supposed to set a flare screen for Vassell, where we normally see a lob skip pass for a shot at the right wing, but they added another layer with Stephon lifting to receive that pass. Now we've got blind pig action out of the triangle offense, which led to this foul and 3 free throws. The next time they slowed down enough to run a half-court set was 2 minutes and 16 points later. Now this isn't exactly the same set, but it uses similar actions. De'Aaron Fox gets the step-up screen while Vassell flare screens for Wemby on the weak side. This allowed them to target Reed Sheppard in isolation, forcing a major rotation by Şengün and a skip for an open 3 from Castle. Here's the same play. This time, Fox doesn't use the step-up screen and instead skips into the flare action for Wemby. This catches Kevin Durant in a closeout and Wemby draws the foul on the drive. As we examine these clips in a row, it becomes clear they didn't run the exact same set 15 times, but the concepts remain consistent. This can be considered a horn set with both corners filled and Lou Kornet and Keldon Johnson starting at the elbows before bending this into a dribble handoff to the left corner. I really like the skip to the ball screen to attack Şengün, with Castle going downhill immediately on the catch. But credit to Şengün for good defense to thwart the attack. Get action is a staple in all NBA offenses. You throw the ball ahead and foul the pass to get it right back. This is again out of Horns. While the initial get was disjointed, Harper skips it so he can have a long runway to sprint into this handoff. Another good defensive possession by Şengün on the switch, and there was absolutely no need for Jabari Smith Jr. to double the ball here. Now, Amen Thompson's rotation was correct to the right wing, but Durant screws this up. He should be closing out on top to Keldon Johnson. It's ridiculous to expect Şengün, who had just been defending the ball in the right corner, to get back to the top. Johnson has so much time he can lick his thumb and check the wind before he shoots. Here's the same horn set again. Johnson is determined to keep it and get his own get action to the right side. They know this targets Şengün, who has to switch to contain the ball. He did a good job to draw a charge here. The Spurs bench signals for a flop, but there's a lot of contact. Another option out of this horn set is the Phalanx, when both high post players come up to ball screen. The ball handler chooses a direction based on how the defender plays it. This got Harper a clean free throw line jumper. When he can't get it to go, Kornet pulls Şengün out of the way for a loose ball foul. They go back to the high post entry for Johnson, who again keeps it as Harper continues through to the corner. They run pinch post action. This should be a shot from Johnson, but he's patient. Fox comes off the brush screen from Kornet for a pitch, and they get the mismatch they've been hunting all game. It's not fair to expect Şengün to keep someone as quick as Fox in front of him, but he bites on the hedgy crossover, and Durant's rotation isn't effective to stop this nifty reverse. Spurs coach Mitch Johnson has a very young team, and having them span the same set gives them structure and predictability. The exact things you need when trading on Polymarket. They're the world's largest prediction market where you can make informed decisions in real time on any game in any state. Polymarket lists all the NBA games with odds as a percentage, and it makes it really easy to see who is favored. The coolest part is that you can trade live in-game as the percentages change and make even more money. The Spurs are heavily favored, and the Nuggets are on a back-to-back after blowing out the Rockets last night. Wemby and company are on a tear, but I imagine Denver can hang very tough and improve their odds even more, which is when you can sell and still make a profit even if they inevitably conk out midway through the fourth from exhaustion. This type of trading could never be done on a traditional sportsbook, so what are you waiting for? Best of all, if you use my code BBALL, you'll get $10 for free. No credit cards, no deposit, no nothing. So join the revolution with Polymarket. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it, as we're familiar with hitting Johnson at the high post and Harper coming around for the keep. This time, instead of Kornet receiving the pass, he progresses to the pin down for Fox out of the corner, who is now attacking the middle with his strong left hand. It was over at this moment, as there's nothing Şengün can do with this 2-on-1. But nothing prepared me for this lefty jam off the lob by Kornet. Let's watch this one again. Impressive and demoralizing to the Rockets. They adjust this slightly by having Champagnie move to the elbow to receive the initial pass. But with pressure on the ball by Thompson, Fox can't make it. A simple spin move gets him by Amen, and because of the spacing, he's got a completely clear path to the basket. Whose rotation should this be? Kevin Durant. He should rotate over to stop the ball, and when it gets kicked to the corner, Dorian Finney-Smith would close there. You can see his frustration with Durant, rightfully so. I went back into the first half to see if they ran this play, and I caught it 3 more times. We can see why Keldon Johnson doesn't want to hand off back to Fox, since the weak side pin down forced Reed Sheppard to switch onto Wemby. Ironically, this bad defense on the ball ended up being good because it took away the pass to the open Julian Champagnie when both Rocket defenders stepped to the cutter. While they were able to scram Sheppard out of there, it created a very long closeout. Sheppard overruns the ball and allows middle penetration, and you can see how this collapses all 5 defenders towards the paint. Thompson ideally closest to the shooter, but that doesn't happen, and Keldon Johnson has plenty of time to get this slow release jumper off. They decide to run this through Wemby at the high post, and it flows into pistol action as there's a cross screen for Fox into a handoff. But this also serves to clear the entire right side of the floor for Johnson. Now, I'm not sure it was the best idea to go full ISO on a defender as good as Amen Thompson, and it wasn't looking amazing to start. But credit Keldon for sticking with it and coaxing the little jump hook off the glass. You should never let the team roll the ball up and save precious seconds that can turn into extra possessions. They try to focus on the weak side pin down, and when Jabari Smith takes the long way around the screen, I think Vassell should have popped out here to receive the pass. Johnson has to throw it there anyway, and hopping into a shot like this becomes a lot harder, and he can't knock it down. I can see why Harper would love what the Spurs are doing on offense, since so much of his production comes directly from leveraging the advantages these actions create. A simple cut around Wemby forces the focus to the middle. Fox immediately sees the opening to the corner, and Harper does the rest with a nice jab on the catch and a weight room drive to a reverse with his dominant left hand. That right corner is a great spot to start for him, and he's willing to be patient and let the action develop. Another attack on the catch gets him right along the baseline where he can show off that elite athleticism. But he's also among the rookie leaders in assists because he understands the gravity of his teammates. Watch this double drag across the top for Castle. It forces Reed Sheppard to switch onto the ball late. Sheppard has no chance to get in front, leading to a nice kick to Harper, who then makes the correct read for a one more pass to the sweet shooting Julian Champagnie. They even have Harper play the point here, and we can just barely see the pin down in the corner. It's a design solely intended to get Sheppard onto Wemby in the high post. This is one of the easier assists Harper can get. What's scary about the Spurs offense is that they're currently ranked 4th in the league in offensive rating, but look at the minutes played of their top guys. Imagine when they start getting playoff minutes and mercilessly running this offense to take advantage of mismatch. We might see them spam the play way more than 15 times, primarily because the other team won't be able to stop them.